So, bro, I can hear you.
So as you know, for an uptrend of higher highs, higher lows, now
Okay.
you can hear me, ne?
Yeah.
Yeah. And higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So it repeats, right? So obviously the
Yeah.
low points here are higher lows, right?
Okay.
So these are higher lows. I'll just write HL there. Then the top ones are what we call higher highs because the high, one high is higher than the previous one, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see, this one is higher than that one, and that one is higher than that one. So it's higher than the highest high, right? So that's why it's called higher high, right?
Yeah.
Because it's higher than the highest high. Then obviously this is a higher low, right? It's low, but it's higher compared to the previous one, right? So this one,
Right.
and that one is higher
Than the previous one.
than the previous one, right? And that's what we actually call a higher low, right? It's higher than the previous low, right? Why are we referring
Yes.
them to higher lows? Because as you can see, they are just forming V's, right? So they are lows. All right.
Yes.
They are lows. And these ones are forming A's there at the top, right? Which means they are just highs, right? Going back to A's and
Yeah.
V's. But then fine. All right.
Yes. Sir.
So when you are trading, you're basically looking to catch higher lows, higher lows. When you're trading an uptrend, right, you're trying to catch higher lows. You're not trying to catch higher highs because higher highs are already there on the chart, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So a break of a higher high there is gonna give you another higher low. So a break of this higher high just gonna give you this higher low, and a break of this higher high is gonna give you this higher low, and the break of this higher high is gonna give you this higher low, right?
Yes.
The higher highs are already there on the chart. So a higher high just gives you a higher low, right? When broken. So basically an A when it gets broken, you get a higher low. So let's see. Okay, there's a bunch of highs here being broken. Just gonna pick one. All right. So if this A here being broken, hopefully you can see this A here being broken. Remember we said
Yes.
a higher high when it gets broken. So this one represents a higher high. So let me just put HH there. All right. So a high high is already there on the chart. So when a high high gets broken, what do we get in return?
Higher low.
A high low, right? A high low point. So a high high actually determines where we get the higher low. So as you can see, this high high gets broken by this candle, and when you look below, what do you find? You find this order block here. All right.
Yes.
Then you find your higher low point, which is this higher low. So this is a higher low. All right.
Yes.
So the same thing repeats again. So it's the same thing repeating again, right? Let's look at somewhere else. All right, we have this. This is our high high. All right. Remember, when a high high gets broken, this is a high high. All right. When it gets
You
broken,
get
oh,
higher low.
there's another one. I'm making a mistake. there's another one. I'm doing the wrong thing there. There's this high first, right? Before that one. So there's this high getting broken, and what do we get in return? We get a higher low, which is here, all right, which is this here, right? This is a higher low.
Yeah. Favorite gipney.
Yeah, on that favorite cap. So this is a higher low again, right?
Yeah.
Remember, what did we say about a high low? It's higher compared to the previous low. So this one, as you can see, it's
Yeah.
higher, right? Compared to this low here. So does it make sense when I'm saying high low and higher high? And check this one.
That,
This
that,
one is
that
check.
makes
This
sense.
one is higher compared to this one or these ones, if you can see, right? Depending on which one you're gonna be picking, all right? This one is higher
Yeah.
than these ones, right? Because there's other highs here, as you can see, other A's there. But then this one is higher than the rest there, right? And
Okay.
when you continue, you look, maybe let's say maybe you look here. Okay, let's look somewhere else. I'm looking for the highest one I can see that is a break. Right? So we have this higher high. Why? It's higher than the previous highs, which is these ones, right?
Yeah.
Hence why it's a higher high. And remember, when a higher high gets broken, you get an error to get a what? A higher low, which is this higher low here. So this is another higher low. All right? Why? It's higher than the previous one here that was created. All right?
Yeah.
So it's a higher low. As you can see, it's the same thing as the drawing, just that on the chart it appears different. But same thing. They're always higher than the previous low, right?
Okay.
So it's the same thing as the drawing, just that it appears different. All right. In order for you to catch higher highs, I mean higher lows, you need to get higher highs being broken, as you can see from the drawing. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So basically like this, just to complete the drawing. All right. So this is for an uptrend. This is for an uptrend. So we're gonna just stick to this one because if I go and do other things, it's gonna get confusing. I want it to be simple. So let's just stick to higher high. Yeah, network. Eh?
I can hear you.
I'm saying it.
I don't know why it's cutting.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna stick to this, right? High lows and
Okay.
and
Yeah.
and and, and, and higher highs. So let's do it on other time frames as well. So you already see the
Okay.
drawing. You probably memorized the drawing. You now know why we are actually trading the way we are trading. So let's just go to a random time frame. Let's just go to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So here there's a higher high, which is higher than the previous highs, which is which one? This one.
Yeah.
Why? As you can check, it's higher than the highs on the left there, right? On the left there as a reference, right? It can be even higher
Yeah.
than the highs on the right, but then as you can higher than the highs on the left there, right? So that's a higher high there, right? It's higher than the other
Yeah.
E's there, as you can see. This one is the highest, right? And
Yeah. I can
remember,
see.
what did we say? We said a higher high, when it gets broken, we get an error to get a what?
Higher low.
A higher low, right? And check below the candle that breaks there, we have this error here, which gives us a what? A higher
Higher low.
low. All right. And why are we saying this is a higher low? Because it's higher than the other lows. As you can see, there's other V's there. and this one is the
Yeah.
highest, right? As you can see.
Yeah, no
I'm not
problem.
sure. I'm not sure if you're getting it. Like it's
I'm
literally
getting
there
it,
in
bro.
front of your eyes. It's symbols there in front of your eyes.
Yeah, I see
All
that.
right. As you can see, this is a higher low because it's higher than the previous V's there. All right.
Yeah.
So that's why this one is a higher low. Okay, let's find another example of a higher high, which is higher than the other highs. Okay, we have this, but then this one is happening on 10 minutes or 15. Let's see. So this one is a higher high. Why? It's higher than this one here. All right.
Yeah.
It's higher than that one high there. So I'm just going to put this here and delete this and go to 30 minutes. I think it shows better on 30 minutes. Mm, no, I'm lying. Let's see, 4 hour. Mm, 4 hour nearly covers it, but then it's fine. So this is our higher high on 5 minutes, if you remember. Right? Our high high on 5 minutes. Right? So this is our high high on
Yes.
5 minutes. Then we look at which candle breaks that higher high, which is this one, and we go below it. And when we go below it, let's go back to 5 minutes. We want to find out what is there, right?
Yeah.
What kind of area is there? Let's see. Okay, so this, so they're saying the area is here, right? So that area just forms a what? A higher low. So higher high gets broken, we find the higher low, right? So as you can see this end, but then on 4 hours, so it's 5 minutes and 4 hour playing around there, right? In case maybe you're getting lost, right? 5 minutes, 4 hour there, right? So it's 5 minutes and 4 hours
Okay.
playing around there.
So what did you mark there? FVG.
So I'm trying to find the zone. I'm trying to see, but I know
Okay.
it's already an order block. But then I'm trying to make sure that you see it as well.
Yeah,
All
because I
right.
can see I didn't.
Oh, it's a favor look at, but then on 30 minutes. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, it's this favor look up here. Probably you're not
Yeah.
seeing it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. All right.
Because on 5 minutes I didn't see. I just saw twinkle sticks. I was.
Uh, but then now you're understanding where to expect your higher low, right? Given that you already down
Yeah.
no structure, oh, they broke a higher high. That means they're gonna create a higher low, right? And it's gonna be
Yeah.
higher than the previous low. So check this one. This one is higher than the previous low,
Previous one.
which is this
Yeah.
low here. So this one is high. So you already know you can't say it's gonna be below here. Doesn't make sense. It's no longer a
No.
higher low, right? Because it needs to be
Yeah.
higher than something, right? Which is needs to
Yeah.
be higher than this low in this case. So you already know, okay, my lowest point can be this one, but then it still is higher than that point there, right?
Yeah.
So in your mind, it's actually registering to say, okay, I know there's a high low point forming there. Then you actually gonna play around on time frames to find that zone there, right? Which I'm gonna teach you
Okay. Yeah.
how to use time frames. And I think I sent you a video on time frames. Oh, I didn't send you. I sent somebody else. All right, but
Yeah.
then that's fine. All right. So already in your mind, you're expecting a higher low, and you know it needs to be higher than the previous low. So let's find another higher high. Okay, here's the one that's higher than the others. So this is a higher high. Do you agree?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a higher high. All right. Why? Because it's higher than this one.
Yeah. It's higher than the one.
Right. And the other ones, it's higher than those ones, right? So this is the highest point there, right? In between these other points there, right? So it's a higher
Yeah.
high. Fine. Let's throw it this thing. All right. As you know already, you have a higher high. And what are you expecting since the higher high gets broken?
Higher low.
A higher low. And it needs to be higher than a low point. So this is our low point again. This is another V. You might not see it very well here, but then let me just show you on 15 minutes. This is another V. Okay, it's not as nice, but this is another V there. Okay, not the nicest V, but then it's there, right? So this is the
Yeah.
V there, right? Remember, we said what? It needs to be higher than something, right? Same thing as here. Check this one. Where is
Yeah.
it? It's higher than that one. So our next high low point is gonna be higher than this point here. All right?
Yeah, I get you.
You get me, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Check. On 10 minutes, we have a break here. And we have this area here, which we're gonna mark, right? Which was a fair value gap. So this is the secondary test. And check. What is this now?
Boom.
High low, right?
Yeah.
Why? It's higher than this low point here.
Yeah, the previous one.
Exactly. It's loading, like it's actually making sense. Why we are following market structure, right? So everything needs to make sense. When we are saying it's a high low, it needs to be higher than the previous point. And when we say it's a high high, it needs to be higher than the previous point. That's what I'm
Okay, yeah.
highlighting. Right? That's what I'm highlighting. That's market structure there, right?
Okay.
That's market structure. This is what I'm
Good
trying
stuff.
to imprint in your mind, so you don't get lost and say, "Eat this guy." Mm-mm. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. Do we have a higher high here? Yes, this one higher than all the other ones on the left. So we take it. All right. It's the highest one. So higher high. Why are we saying this one is high? It's higher than all the other A's there on the left. If you can see all
Yeah.
these other A's there on the left, right?
Yeah, I can see.
And it gets broken, right?
Yeah, it
And
gets
it gets
broken.
broken. So let's 15 M30. And you already have a reference structure now. So you now know that your high low point is never gonna be below here, right? So it needs to be higher than this point here, this V here. All right, it needs to be higher than this V here,
Okay.
right? For it to be a higher low, right? Because you're actually saying it's a higher low. Then check. Obviously, this is not happening on this time frame sadly. So let's see 1 hour. Um, yeah, somewhere here. So below this candle. So let's see what's below this candle on other time frames. Okay, we have this huge fair value gap. I don't like it, but then it's there. There's nothing I can do about it. It's there. All right.
Yeah.
So check again. This point here is what? I want you to be the
It's
one
higher,
saying it.
higher low.
It's a high low, right?
The new
Why?
higher
Why?
low. Mm.
Why are we saying
Because
it's a high low?
it's the I think it's the new higher low. It is on top of the lower higher low. I don't know if you get me.
I want you to be the one saying it. And it's there. It's like the terms describes itself. It's a high low because it's higher than the previous low.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
there
it's
like
higher than the previous
the
V.
previous low. So which is the previous low
Yeah.
here? It's this V here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's V, yeah.
And this
Because
one
it
is
get
higher than the
previous V.
exact. So this one is a higher low. It's higher than that low there.
Okay. Same.
it describes itself basically, right?
Yeah.
So if you can actually have that at the back of your mind, you can actually say, "Oh, this is what I'm actually trying to do on the chart," so you don't look at the wrong places, right? So you have I think a logical way of thinking about it, right? To say, okay, I know we are forming a higher low, so it needs to be higher than the previous point in the back of your mind. So these are the things me I don't think about, but then right automatically they happen, right? Why? Because me I know market structure, right? But then these are
Yeah,
the
because
things you
you're good.
concede, yeah. Because these are the things you actually do on the chart, but then unknowingly do.
Okay.
You do them automatically, all right? You do them
Okay. So what
automatically.
about the TP selling? What about the take profit cost?
That one has a topic of its own. We are talking about market structure here. We're just talking
Okay,
about
I'm
market
rushing to.
structure. Yeah, don't let's not one step at a time. Everything should be one topic at a time so it makes sense. All right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we are chasing here for it to make sense. So now you're getting the hang of what okay in this case a buy trend, right? Using market structure, what to expect
Yeah,
and how to see the market, right? Based on that,
yeah, I can see now.
based on that. Then obviously the next session is gonna be higher, I mean lower highs and 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 lower lows, right? So it's gonna be just for a
Okay.
downtrend, right? It's gonna be for a downtrend. So you can understand downtrends much better, right?
So my assessment today is just to do by trend,
Yeah,
like a structure by trend. Okay.
exactly. So you see a higher high, you mark the highest point out of all the other points there that you are seeing compared, right? Given whichever one you like, right? You can pick whichever one you like as long as it's higher than the other point there, right?
Okay.
It's higher than the previous high, right? As long as it's higher than the previous high, you pick that point. Then you wait for it to get
Okay.
broken, or you show me where it gets broken, depending, right? If you're doing a setup that's yet to play or a setup that has already played out, then you show me the break or the way the break is gonna happen. Then you're gonna show me, okay, here's my high low point if it has played out. And if it has not played out, you're gonna show me this is where I see my high low point. It's that
Okay.
simple.
I no no stat. I'll send you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So now I'm doing on week time frame,
On
15
which
minutes,
time
30 minutes.
frame. Let's stick to daily.
Okay.
Daily and 4 hour, ne?
Yeah, daily and 4 hour. Yeah,
Yeah,
those one
if
are just they are not complicated.
yeah, they're not complicated. As long as you can do them on daily and 4 hour. At first, when you're practicing, then the other time frames are gonna be easier as well.
Okay.
So just start at daily and 4 hour there.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and since you have a bit of time, so if you have a question, this is the right time to ask a question.
Nah, I don't have a question, but when I have a question, I'll ask you via WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'll have to watch the video again and analyze. Then I'll write
Yeah.
down my questions and then I'll ask you.
Yeah, just to recap there. Let's recap. Right?
Okay.
Why are we saying it's a higher high? We are saying it's a higher
Because
high
it's higher than the previous,
because it's higher
it's higher than the
than
previous.
previous high.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you say it's a higher high. Okay, now my English is washed up there. Higher than there.
The previous high.
Right? Which is what you call a HH or higher high in this case. Right? A higher high, right?
Yeah.
That's why we say the higher high because it's higher than the previous high. And why are we saying it's a high low? Because it's higher
Higher than. than the previous low.
Previous low. That's why you actually call it a higher low, right?
Yeah.
So so it's basically that. So this is what you're actually uh doing on the charts there when you're trading A's and V's.
Okay.
So
So I think I have a question there.
yeah.
When we started, you were marking. Let's say you make your first A ne? Then on that A you get your second A. I don't know if you get me.
Oh, me, I'm showing you market structure. I'm not
On
showing
the,
you the strategy
okay.
because you said
So
you
it's
wanted
a
market
different thing.
structure. Not a different thing. It's the same thing. Just that when we incorporating strategy, we factor in a lot of things, right?
Okay, because that's the only thing that confuses me. Because when we started, you use the, I want to say, the M formation for bisetter, where you mark your
Yeah,
first A
but
on the
then we are not
curve.
talking. But then we are not talking about setups. We're talking about market structure. That's
Okay,
the thing. It's the strategy and what the market is two different things. Me, I'm just showing you how to see things on the chart, right? Using market structure.
okay.
Then
I'm just looking for higher high.
and a higher
Yeah, you can
low,
continue. Yeah,
exact.
okay,
So me, I'm showing you higher highs and higher lows here. Then the minute when I start in incorporating the strategy, then you can actually start saying, okay, fine, this is how a high
okay,
forms. Because me, I'm showing you things that have already played out. All right,
okay,
I'm showing you things that have already played out. But then if I want to show you how a higher high forms and how maybe a lower high forms, it's totally different. For example, I'll show you, man. But then that's a totally
okay,
different thing that I'm doing. Ne? We are no longer
okay,
like we are no longer like mainly on market structure, just putting together the strategy as well, right?
okay.
So check this. So we have a A here and another A where
Yeah,
and another A
right there.
here.
Yeah, yeah,
So this A here and this other A here give you which higher low. Let me delete this. It gives you this higher low here.
yeah. Because I think they get broken by the same candlestick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But they're not on this time frame. So let me show you the time frame. Not on this time frame. Mm.
yeah, that one.
Right.
I don't know. No.
Check. Now we are incorporating the strategy. I want you to understand something. All right. So when we are
Okay,
incorporating the strategy, we are using two A's there. Why are we using two A's? Because we want to verify that this higher high we are picking has a lower point there, right? Or it's basically higher than the previous point, right? In simpler terms,
okay.
right? As you can see, this high is higher than this point here. This high. Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah, I
Right?
agree with you.
But then the lower one is actually the one that gives us the zone where the higher low is gonna form. So as you can see, there's a break here with this candle. So let me zoom in. I want you to understand. Check, right?
Yeah,
There's this
I know
candle
that
here,
blue candlestick.
and we put a line below that blue candlestick there, right? Then obviously we're gonna
Yeah,
look
and
for
then
a
you mark
zone.
your,
We're
yeah,
gonna look for a zone there. All right. Okay. The zone is here. This small fair value gap here. All right. This small fair value gap here forms what? Check. It forms a higher low. Why are we saying this is a higher low? It's higher than the previous low. Where's the previous low?
yeah,
Here's the previous
at
low
the bottom.
here. That's when we start
Yeah.
incorporating strategy, which shows you the very same thing and shows you other structures which were hidden, right? But then we are not talking about that
Okay.
yet. We are talking about you understanding higher highs and higher lows.
Okay. Now I
So
get you.
the difference there is for you to understand market structure, not the strategy. The strategy comes later because you start seeing, oh, this is how we see the higher low there before it forms. Oh, this high low is actually holding
Okay.
up this one. Then you can start saying, oh, now I know that this V and that V go together. Example, and I'm just showing you something. This is just an example. Then now you know how to mark your V's there and say, oh, if this V here gets broken, because that's another high low, right? And that other
Yeah.
V there gets broken. Example, right? I'm trying to mark here, but then I'm not trying to disturb the labeling there, right? So you know if price actually goes and breaks here and here, it's gonna create a sell. Oh, now I understand why that guy said two V's and two A's. As you can see, this is one V, this is another V there. Then you start
Yeah.
understanding why I'm saying two two A's and two V's. Why? Because we need a reference structure, a structure which is higher than the previous one. Always.
Okay. We're gonna get there. I think
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
yeah. That's the thing when you work like your YouTube videos, you want to like rush, 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 rush. But
Because I'm not
yeah, like
how they don't pay me there.
yeah,
So as you can see, we have this V here, given that we have a bit of time, right? And we have another one
yeah,
here, which is higher than this one,
yeah.
right? This one there. So we have two V's they're getting broken. What does it mean? We're getting a cell set up where here, where exactly? Let's look exactly where it is. Oh, it's here on this other block here. It's here.
Yeah.
So it's that thing like you guys have a long way, but then this is simply how the strategy works when you are factoring in market structure. As you can see, this one got child, right? This high low, this first high low, right?
Okay.
And check this one.
You
This
got
this check this is the first high low, right?
yeah.
It gets child by here and check. When we go above that candle, what do we find? That small fair value gap there.
Damn.
Right? So
Yeah.
you see where it starts being creating when it starts creating structure. So it created this structure from here. So you know, oh, this one is not random as well. Okay. My reference structure is here. So you know. Same goes for this higher low here. You'd argue that there's another higher low there, which is still fine. Let me delete the other line there so it doesn't confuse me. You'd actually argue, hey, me, I'm seeing this higher low point here, which you are right. At the same time, check. Right? We have this high low here.
Boom.
Remember, we need how many? Two to be broken. Right? As you can see, we have another lot
Okay.
of high low points there being broken there. A lot of them being broken. But then where's the first one that gets broken? Before this one, it's this one. Here's the first one. But then it's not on this time frame, sadly. But then let me throw a zone because the zone is actually on this time frame. It's on this fair value gap here. Right? But then there's this V here. So let me throw it before you actually see it. There's this V here. You might not see it uh, as of now, but then it's there.
That's not clean.
Yeah, on this time frame it's not clean because obviously I haven't taught you how to. Here's this V.
Yeah.
Now it's clean. Now you can see it. Oh, they broke. Okay, now I understand. That's basically what is happening there. So, but then let's stick to what we are talking about, because we're talking about market structure, not the strategy. So you can actually
Okay, yeah.
understand everything. Yeah. And so I was like, if I actually show you everything at once, it's just gonna confuse you. And you don't want confusion. You want like it to be simplified, for it to make
Yeah,
sense.
easy, 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 easy.
Yeah, we want it to be simplified. We just want it to be
Yeah.
simplified. So yeah, we have like 2 minutes left. So first, market structure, because I see that maybe you're not understanding market structure, and that's what you requested. Then after talking
Yeah.
about market structure, after we finish market structure, then we enter the strategy, because now you'd be understanding market structure. Then when I tell you now that I'm expecting maybe an A or a V to form where, now you're starting to understand. Oh, this is what it means. So flip.
Okay.
Let me flip this chat. With Alt I. Yeah, I think it's Alt I. Right. Let's say this was an uptrend, right? So as you can see, there's an A here being broken and that one here being broken, right? So this is a higher high.
Yeah.
Why? It's higher than this one here, right?
Previous one.
Than the previous one, right? So remember, when a high high gets broken, you expect a what?
Higher low.
A higher low. So it needs to be higher than this V here.
Previous. Previous V.
So it needs to be higher than the previous V here. So as you can see, this area here is higher than this previous V here. So that means my V is gonna form here. My bar is gonna form here.
Yeah.
Why? It's higher than the previous V.
Previous V.
All right. Then when you switch
Yeah.
upside, when you switch it back up, the chart, the V is gonna be an A, which is basically V's and A's. So you're starting to get it now. If you're actually seeing buys only, you can just flip upside down the chart and actually cater for what you are
Okay.
seeing best.